You don't need mysticism to read anyone, only the courage to notice. Control, mockery, envy, time, risk. Nietzsche mapped the pattern. By the end, you'll carry the map. People think people are complicated. They're not. They're layered. And layers can be read. The easiest way to hide a secret is to speak it through behavior and then distract with words. Nietzsche understood this. The will is the author, the body is the script, and every gesture is a sentence about power. Notice what someone tries to control and what they let decay. They don't control everything. They control what their hunger touches. Watch how they guide the tempo of a room, how they stretch silence or crush it, how they edit their past to sound like a noble accident. That pressure, that edit, that tempo, these are fingerprints. You are not listening for arguments. You are listening for appetites. Masks are not deceptions. They are armors, and armor whispers about the wound beneath. Pay attention to what a person turns into a joke. The laughter may be bright, but the heat behind it can be a confession. When someone mocks courage, understand they have not forgiven themselves for quitting. When someone mocks tenderness, understand they once begged for it and were turned away. The things we ridicule are often the things that refused us, and we still want them. If you want to read a soul, locate the theater of their ridicule. That's where they're guarding something they lost. There is a jury that lives in many, a shadow crowd whose approval is the tax they pay for belonging. You can read the text by the way their eyes scan the room before they finish a sentence. They are looking for a face to borrow a verdict from. They don't think. They echo. Put them in a vacuum, and their thoughts collapse. Contrast this with the ones who can carry their own weather. They don't need applause to stabilize. They can be misunderstood and stay awake. The crowd-led person will trade you for safety. The self-led person will take the hit and keep their spine. Trust is not about charm. It is about where someone keeps their backbone. Resentment is a low fever with beautiful language. It calls itself justice. It calls itself truth. But if you taste it closely, it's stale power looking for a new name. Watch how someone uses moral language. Do they use it to protect the weak from predation? Or do they use it to dress up their private revenge? Do they criticize to build standards or to harvest shame? Nietzsche would call it the alchemy of the powerless, anger melted into virtue. Stop arguing with resentment. Read it as a map of old defeats. It will tell you what they lost and why they still need you to pay for it. Excellence is a mirror that makes people twitch. Show someone a cathedral of skill built from 1,000 reckless mornings. If they grow quiet with respect, if they lean forward, you have found a learner. If they sneer and call the cathedral pretentious, you have found a self-betrayal wearing irony. People translate greatness through the grammar of their own standards. Admiration without servility is clean. Contempt is usually a confession. It says, I met my ceiling and made it sacred. Listen to laughter like a physician listens to a pulse. Some laughter is a release valve. Some is a lash. Some gasps are envy in a funny suit. When the joke is always at the expense of the vulnerable, you're watching a small tyrant practice. When someone can laugh at themselves with clarity, not with self-hatred, but with oxygen, you're seeing resilience wrapped in wit. Humor is a scalpel. See what they cut and what they choose not to. The smallest delays are betrayals. The breath that pauses before denial. The half-second smile that arrives late, like a bad apology. The eyes that dart to the door when commitment knocks. Your nervous system can read the body faster than your mind can explain it. Learn to trust that current. People leak their truths at the edges of control, where they fidget, where they freeze, where they overperform kindness, where their hands keep traveling to the same piece of armor. The body testifies while the tongue pleads its case. Time is the currency of the will. Ask for nothing. Watch the clock. Those who arrive on time arrive from an inner city with laws. Those who are late and unwind a ribbon of reasons are telling you they keep their house with excuses. A kept promise is architecture. A broken one, even politely broken, is erosion. Do not over-explain what you're seeing. Your future can't be scaffolded with weather. Morning and night are referendums on who rules inside. The first hour reveals whose voice wakes them, their appetite or their aim. The last hour reveals how they close their accounts, by numbing or by naming. People proclaim values with their lips and violate them with their rituals. Watch the rituals. That's where their throne sits. Language betrays the maker. The passive voice is a sanctuary for cowards. It happened is a broom that pushes responsibility under the bed. I did is a man standing in a storm with his name intact. Count the verbs. Feel the weight of their because. Does it open space for choice, or does it lock the door and blame the hallway? Precision in speech is precision in conscience. Cloudy words aren't just confusion. They are protection for weak will. Boundaries are not walls. They are gates with intelligent guards. Listen to how a person says no. A clean no is respect for both parties. A melodramatic no is theater designed to punish desire. A resentful yes is a dirty check that will bounce later. People who mouth care and then weaponize access don't love. They negotiate hostage exchanges. Gifts sometimes come with hooks stitched into the ribbon. Take them and you'll owe a piece of your spine. Compassion expands you. Pity shrinks you. Hold what keeps you tall. Risk is a truth serum. What will they hazard? Reputation, comfort, sleep, convenience? A life with no risk is a museum of what-ifs. A life with intelligent risk is a workshop. You cannot read a person in easy weather. Offer them a choice that costs something. Then listen to the decision. You will hear the blueprint of their priorities. Values are not ideas. They are sacrifices. Under pressure, the actor forgets their lines, and the organism emerges. Crisis blows the dust off character. Some rally the frightened into decisions. Some light fires under your feet and call it leadership. Some vanish into clever words. Watch who becomes useful when the air thins. Greatness is altitude training. It leaves a mark on the lungs. They won't panic as fast, won't flatter as quickly, won't outsource their backbone. Solitude is a species of courage. If they cannot be alone, they cannot carry you. They will turn you into their entertainment system or their therapist. Boredom is not about life being empty. It is about the self being inbuilt. The ones who cultivate silence are not avoiding life. They are harvesting it. They return to you with something to give. The others only return with more hunger and a dozen stories about how you owe them. Choose carefully. Loneliness sharpens or breaks. You can read which way it went by the elegance of their questions. Contradictions are not mistakes. They are evidence of depth. The strongest people you'll meet can be hard without being cruel, soft without being enslaved, ambitious without worshiping status. Weak minds seek a single virtue to hide in, then turn it into a cudgel. Be wary of one-note saints. The world is a field of tensions. Those who can hold the rope from both ends without sawing through their own hands are rare. If someone demands certainty at all costs, they will amputate nuance to calm their fear. And then they will call the stump principle. Every life keeps a private ledger of humiliations. Find the page that was never closed. The disproportionate reaction is your breadcrumb. Rage at small slights despair at mild rejection, euphoria at crumbs of praise. These are echoes of a past room still occupied. Some convert their wounds into craft. They build from scar tissue and don't expect discounts. Others turn their wounds into identity and charge interest forever. You will feel the difference in the gravity around them. Attention is a love letter or a leash. Some offer eyes like open fields and let you walk. Others offer eyes like cages and then call it devotion. The former gives energy. The latter steals it and transacts. If you feel smaller after being seen, you've been audited, not witnessed. Learn the texture of being truly observed. It is quiet. It is not needy. It wants nothing except the truth. Power doesn't announce itself with volume. It announces itself with calm. The most dangerous person in a room is not the loudest, but the one whose heartbeat doesn't bargain. You can see it in their posture during a storm. They don't posture. They choose. They don't snow the moment with rhetoric. They cut cleanly and accept the cut they made. Control is serenity in motion. So is danger. You must read the difference. Some are calm because they are empty. Some are calm because they are trained. Test with responsibility. Give them something that could hurt someone if mishandled. The empty will harmonize. The trained will deliver. Desire exposes hierarchy. Ask someone what they want, then ask why, then watch what survives the third why. Many wants are just camouflage. Status disguised as service, vanity disguised as health, fear disguised as reasonableness. The honest desires are humbling. They rarely fit on a t-shirt. They demand sweat and shame and repetition. When you hear a want that comes with the willingness to suffer intelligently for it, you have met a person with an engine. When you hear a want that needs the world to rearrange itself, you have met a person with a complaint. Envy wants your crown without your crucible. It will accuse excellence of cheating because effort insults it. You read envy by silence, by sudden politeness, by the quick audit of your faults as soon as you succeed. That isn't feedback. That is protection of their story. Don't hate them. Don't feed them. Just note the direction their eyes tilt when your name enters the air. Some will look at possibility and wake up. Some will look at loss and sleep deeper. The first are allies. The second are saboteurs with pretty manners. Rituals of consumption tell the truth about discipline. Watch appetite in the small hours. Food, scrolling, gossip, sugar, outrage. People brag about what they don't need, then binge when nobody's watching. True restraint leaves a trace of light in the face. Compulsions leave fog. This isn't about purity. It's about leverage. He who cannot say no to himself must control others to survive his own chaos. He who can command himself becomes trustworthy without announcement. Forgiveness is often misunderstood as kindness. Sometimes it is just amnesia in costume. Real forgiveness remembers and releases. False forgiveness forgets until it is convenient to weaponize. Observe how people store conflict. Do they archive it fairly or pull it out like a switchblade when they need leverage? Disagreement doesn't end relationships. Hidden ledgers do. If you find yourself negotiating with a vault, step back. Clarity cannot breathe under blackmail. Now, the most dangerous reading of all. Read yourself. Because you are not a neutral instrument. If you're hungry, you will mistake kindness for opportunity. If you're proud, you will mistake guidance for insult. If you're bitter, you will mistake justice for persecution. Clean your window, or you'll turn your insight into a rifle. Nietzsche's hardest lesson was not about others. It was about the violence we do to reality to spare our vanity. Audit your motives. Remove the perfume. You'll see more, want less, and move straighter. Do not use these recognitions to crush people. Use them to stop lying to yourself. Precision is not cruelty. Reading someone accurately is not an excuse to punish them. It is a permission to choose wisely. That is all wisdom asks for. The right to choose your distance without theater. Walk through rooms like a surgeon, not an executioner. Stabilize your breathing. Notice the signals. The hands that clutch, the promise that drifts, the glance that hunts, the humor that heals, the silence that rots, the elegance that humbles. You don't need a throne to be sovereign. You need a spine that knows its job. There are 18 doors here, and you don't need to force any of them. Control, mockery, crowd hunger, resentment, taste, humor, leakage, time, ritual, language, boundaries, gifts, risk, pressure, solitude, contradiction, wounds, envy. Each door opens onto a room where truth is sitting without makeup. Walk through slowly. And as you read others, write yourself. The highest power is not domination, it is lucidity. When you are lucid, you stop attracting chaos that needs you confused. When you are lucid, your yes becomes steel and your no becomes air, and both are respected. If you do this right, you will feel both lighter and heavier. Lighter because you will no longer carry other people's disguises. Heavier because accuracy has weight. You will stop begging to be understood. You will understand, and that will be enough to act. You will meet manipulation and see the strings before they pull. You will meet goodness and refuse to poison it with your suspicion. You will graduate from the theater and walk into the workshop where life is carved, one disciplined blow at a time. Read others to stay awake. Read yourself to stay honest. Master both, and you won't need permission to move. If this made you think deeply, make sure you like this video, share it, and subscribe for more.